Further ado, please help me welcome Speaker Paul Ryan.
Good morning, everybody. Morning. So, I wanted to actually give a speech today. I've been thinking about this a bit. You have to know that I sat in your shoes not all that long ago as an intern myself, and I've been thinking a little bit over the days, weeks, months, and years about the state of things these days. I love that we do this intern series. We've been doing this for a number of years now, bringing everybody from all the different offices together. And as I mentioned, I started off as an intern here. I started off over in the mailroom in the Russell office building, then in the Hart office building, and eventually I figured out that the house side was way cooler than the Senate side. And I've been basically been a house guy ever since. In between, I spent my nights waiting tables over at Tortilla Coast. How many of you have gone and eaten there, right? Make sure you get the sunset sauce on top. Closing time, I would go and have a bottle of Pacifico with the busboys. I made a lot of friendships in my early 20s right here on Capitol Hill. These days, when my shift ends, I'll have a Miller Lite with a colleague or two. Then I call my family who's at home in Janesville. In many respects, not a whole lot's changed for me. One of my daily prayers is to keep my sense of self. It's one of the points I want to make with you. My enthusiasm for ideas that got me to come and be an intern in the first place, to seek this as a vocation, passion for policy, a sense of things that brought me here, I always have thought on a daily basis, keep that sense of enthusiasm, keep that sense of self. It's really important that as you go through these opportunities and twists and turns in life, that you keep the things that animated you in the first place. So I see myself in you, to say the least. I look around here and I see people who are coming here thinking the same thing, doing the same thing that I did in 1991 and 1992. The challenge as I see it is to basically sustain that energy, keep that faith in your future. This to me is basically a challenge for all of us. And here's what I see. I see that curiosity can often seem no match for cynicism. Disillusionment is often becoming our default state. And there is a change that's occurring today, and that's what I want to talk with you about. On the 4th of July, Gallup reported an alarming drop in American patriotism. Only 47% of adults now say they are extremely proud to be Americans. It's a record low. Here's the way I see it. It is no longer just that our passions are getting the best of us. More and more, our politics is enabling the worst in us. And this is your generation's challenge, our generation's challenge. We are no longer seeing our opponents as sort of the other side, but as the others, as targets, as someone who is not fundamentally like us. The more politics preys on our divisions, the more we become defined by our divisions. This leads to a view of life that is a zero-sum game view, where one group has to win at the expense of another. All of this is slipping further into our daily lives. So we are finding ourselves too easily retreating to the comfort and the conformity of our tribes. There's a good book written about this right now that's out there. This blinds us to the perspectives that others bring to the table. In turn, we ourselves don't reach out, and we don't offer our time and our energy, and we don't understand different perspectives. Social media just amplifies all of these trends. We have an industry where you can make money on feeding fear and feeding resentment. We're caught in this paradox where we are more connected than ever before, but we could not feel more disconnected and more alienated from each other than ever before. That is why, for all of the big challenges that are out there, the one that keeps me so concerned is what's going on right now in our civic life. The question is, what do we do about it? Well, this is what I think all of us have to take some time and take some stock and think about. Always remember this, and this is what I always go back to. This country our country is a beautiful idea. It's this awesome experiment. It gives us this chance to be free. It gives us this chance to be happy. It also gives us this space to resolve our differences and to work together to advance a vision of liberty and a vision of justice for all. So guess what? It is our job to preserve all of this. It is a job as well. It's real work. It is certainly worth the effort. The American idea, if you think about it, this beautiful notion that the condition of your birth does not determine the outcome of your life, this has made us the most free, the most flourishing, the most generous country on earth. And this idea is something we can never take for granted. And I don't think we will as long as we remember our common humanity. We just can't let our divisions overtake our basic respect for one another. We need to recognize that we are all less than perfect. We all fall short. We all struggle. We don't have it all figured out. We all need to be heard. We all want to be heard, but we all need to be needed. Here's the way I look at it. Our humanity, it spurs us to find perspective. It spurs us to listen. It spurs us to lend a hand. And this, without question, is our greatest antidote, the greatest antibody we have against the forces of alienation, our common humanity. By rediscovering our common humanity, we can take the oxygen out of tribalism and what has come to be known as identity politics. One way we can do this is a resurgence of ideas, of substance, of reason, by actually engaging on the merits. Don't judge your views based on emotions. Don't judge it based on scorekeeping, but on reason, on facts, on the merits of an idea. The first, maybe best advice I ever got when I came here, and when I was a freshman, I was 28, as Katie said, I looked around Congress and I said, who are the most effective people in Congress? I should probably go to those people and ask them, what do you know now that you wish you knew then? And it didn't matter to me what party they came from, just the people who I thought were really effective at advancing their causes. You know, the guy who gave me probably the best advice was Barney Frank. I don't know if you know who Barney Frank is. He left a few terms ago, a liberal Democrat from Massachusetts. We had pretty much nothing in common, other than I knew he was really effective. So I went to Barney Frank, and I asked him for breakfast and to give me some advice. He told me what he loved about the House. He told me it was a genuine meritocracy. This is back in 1998, mind you. You get ahead based on the power of your ideas, based on your ability to make a persuasive case. Focus and specialize, and you will actually make policy in that area. These days, because of all that has happened, we don't even really set out to persuade anymore. We just hit each other over the head until the music stops, it seems. For all the provocation, there isn't that much that's actually thought-provoking. We rarely skim below the surface. Well, the way I look at this is we should not be deriving our meaning from building a brand around ourselves. We should derive our meaning from our commitment to our ideas, to our convictions. We call it beers versus doers these days. Rather than just searching for the nearest echo chamber, putting our ideas to the test makes us strengthen and improve them. That is what the core of Congress is about. Not just score settling, but actually persuading, arguing, converting. This makes us better. This gives us more perspective. We can also rediscover our common humanity by improving the tone and raising the level of our debates. It's well-trodden ground. People say it all of the time. We need to disagree without being disagreeable. Well, we really do actually kind of need to take that to heart, and each of us need to benefit from this. It's not just about good manners. It's about the manner in how we govern. It's about our ability to solve problems. Civility is a civic imperative. A healthy discourse allows us to navigate our disagreements in the search for the common ground, to accept good ideas even if our side did not come up with them. I know this may sound trite, but it really is something that we have to get back in the front of our minds if we're ever going to turn around and improve the level of our discourse. I see Alexis De Tocqueville is one of those great writers that saw what was wonderful about America. Too often, we see one side and we go to the other side and we don't respect it. De Tocqueville was brilliant in how he wrote about how we settled our civic discourses in a civil way, and we got the greatest outcome. Our discourse, when it's the most vibrant, it's not just a visceral show of hands. It is a show of heart. It is a place where we come together for thoughtful discussion, where we have all these different civic mediating institutions where we do these things. We deconstruct each other's arguments instead of impugning another person's motives. That, to me, is the best advice I could give you as you look at this. Don't try and impugn another person's motive. Deconstruct their arguments to make a better argument. Sometimes things get heated. That's fine. Look at my Twitter feed. You'll see exactly what I mean. I mean, that's okay. I personally can't control that, but what I can do is control my own actions. So I choose not to respond in kind. Respond with kindness. Let people get stuff off their chests. Move on. Don't take the bait. And that's the other challenge that your generation is going to have. Don't take the bait online. Snark sells, but it doesn't stick. It doesn't last. It doesn't unite people around a bigger idea or a greater cause. Personal engagement takes work. It takes patience. It takes following my mom's advice. You got two ears, one mouth, use it in that proportion. It is really hard in your generation, in the online generation, to take that advice. We need to revitalize this, what I used to call the battle of ideas. We need to be grateful for this every day. One big thing we can do to rediscover our common humanity is to strengthen those very institutions that promote togetherness and connect us to one another. This may sound heavy, but it's really important. And this is what de Tocqueville talked about. We call these mediating institutions civil society. It's really just a way of describing our communities. It's churches, it's charities, it's PTAs, it's little leagues, food banks, shelters, college. Think of how you come to know different people. Think about how you know different people in your life that are different from you and how you've benefited from their perspective. That is civil society. That is those great institutions that stand between ourselves and our government. Many of you may have studied de Tocqueville. He basically said this is what is the genius of our democracy. This is sort of that unseen glue, that fiber that keeps us all together. We are constantly uniting as Americans in some way every day through these interactions. This, to me, is what has to be refreshed. Because if you take a look at the bubble we are often in, at the tribalism we actually experience, whether it's in our enclaves, in our echo chambers, or online, we are pushing this aside. We have to go reacquire this. As politics increasingly overtakes our daily lives, it breeds a narrow vision of society where there are basically two actors, the individual and the government. It diminishes what goes on in that space in between, where the stuff of life happens in our daily lives. It is where we form our passions and learn our different perspectives. It's where you find this person is different from me, this person doesn't agree with me, but there may be something I can benefit and learn from this person, and I want to respect that, and hopefully I'll get respect in return as a result. If we want to rediscover our common humanity, we need to expand the space where this occurs, civil society. We need to give these institutions the maximum freedom to help people. I tell you, over the years, I have met some incredible leaders changing lives in our communities that I have learned so much from. One of them is a woman who lives not 10 miles from here named Shirley Holloway. She runs a shelter over in Anacostia. It's called the House of Help, City of Hope. They have served thousands of people struggling with addiction and helplessness. She doesn't just get people off the streets, she does quite a bit of that. She gets them back on the path of life. It is amazing the transformation that people go from addiction and homelessness through her program on to really happy, healthy, fulfilling, productive lives. Her motto is basically this: we don't see the problem, we see the person. These are really good words to live by. And they really basically sum up my message today. See the person, not the problem. This is where our road back to common humanity starts. With engaging each other more, by engaging in our community more, we can reclaim this great sense. It's about keeping your cool. It's about keeping your sense of self. It's about understanding that there is a new challenge in your generation that you're going to have to overcome if we're going to get through all of this. To boil it all down, here is the choice you're going to need to make. And it is the choice I always tell our new members of Congress when they come in here. I feel like the old guy now. Did you come here to be something? Did you come here to build a brand? Or are you here to do your part? Are you here to make a real difference? If you're here to do good, to advance ideas, to do your part, to make a difference, we need you. We need doers. We don't need beers. We need leaders. So as you go back to your campuses, as you go back to your communities, think about ways you can engage people more on policy and on the problems of the day. Start right there. Take that first step. Think about the estrangement and the alienation that is occurring more and more in our society today. And if you just start thinking about it, I know that you are going to be the people who will help solve this challenge and problem we have in society. Remember that we do not have to be trapped by cynicism. We do not have to lower our sights. We do not have to make it all about the Packers versus the Bears, which, by the way, I have a strong opinion on that one. We don't have to lower our gaze. So that's basically the message I wanted to say to you. As I thought about my annual trip to the Intern seminar, you have an important role in this time in our country. Know it, recognize it, get excited about it, and thank you very much for hearing me out today. I really appreciate it. Oh, there it is. I was looking for this microphone. I'll come on down. You guys have any questions? Better not. Yeah. Hey, who are you? Where are you from? Who you're interning for?
My name is Daniel Vrablik.
And are you from Wisconsin?
My name is Daniel Vrablik. I'm actually from Cleveland, Ohio, and I intern for Congressman Warren Davidson from the 8th District. Speaker Ryan, I come from a fairly left-leaning school in Ohio that happens to be Catholic. I hear a lot of rhetoric at my school about how President Trump and Republicans do not want to protect the earth from...
You go to Xavier?
I go to St. Ignatius High School.
St. Ignatius. Oh, high school.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, I know St. Ignatius. I went to Miami of Ohio. I have some buddies that went to St. Ignatius. Mm-hmm. Go Red Hawks. There you go. So go ahead. Sorry, I'm with you.
No problem. So how should I respond to this so I can combat this rhetoric?
Okay, what was the quick, give it to me again.
That's okay. I hear a lot of rhetoric at my school about how President Trump and Republicans do not want to protect the earth from climate change.
Oh.
So how should I respond to this so I can combat this rhetoric at my own school?
Our goal is not to have to make some false choice between economic growth and progress and being good stewards of our environment. I think technology is the answer, and so we think we can live in harmony by having good jobs, faster economic growth, and technological development, which helps us. Look at batteries, look at all the above. We have an all-of-the-above energy approach, which at the end of the day means faster economic growth, means faster technological growth, which means we can live with far more conservation and a far better, more efficient energy system. So we don't have to choose between hitting our economy with confiscatory taxes that makes the poor poorer, it makes the economy slower. We should be able to have economic growth and innovate our way toward a cleaner environment. That's the way we see things. Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Alex. I am a rising sophomore at Harvard College, and I'm serving here with Kathleen Rice in the New York 4th District. My question today has to do with political courage. So one of the books that I read when I was a kid was John F. Kennedy's Profiles in Courage, and it really impacted me and made me want to pursue a career in politics. I feel like today's Washington, there's kind of a lack of political courage to do things that are politically, might not be the most politically expedient, but are morally just and right. And specifically, I was concerned about Congress exerting its authority as a co-equal branch to the executive. And it seems as if during this presidency, Congress has kind of eschewed that role in matters such as not standing up to the president's constant condemnation of the special counsel, and really congressional authority on...
So Article 1 versus Article 2. I just want to get to a lot of questions. So Article 1 versus Article 2.
And particularly that, as well as just the Russia investigation as a whole. It seems like Congress hasn't really wanted to exert its right of independence and allowing these things to proceed without presidential or executive
Let me ask you this.
interference.
Is it still going on? It is, isn't it? It hasn't been ended. It's still going on. But if we want to take our Article 1 seriously, we have to oversee the executive branch. FISA is a very powerful law. FISA is a law where we Congress gave the executive branch the ability to take someone's civil liberties away without their knowledge. So it's really important that we oversee the executive branch who are using this extremely important tool over our civil liberties. I'd say a few other things. Obviously, the judges that we're advancing, we believe, are Article I judges, judges that believe in not having too much discretion to the executive branch. One of the first bills we passed around here is what we call the Reins Act, where big rules and regulations that have the full force of law come back to Congress for a final vote and approval or amendment before they go into effect. So we have a pretty vibrant Article I power restoration plan. We've passed many of those bills, not to mention the fact that the way we write our bills now are far more prescribed. So, look, if you don't agree with the administration, that's one thing. But in many of these areas, we agree on these things. We agree on these policies. So what we're going to do is guard the Article I prerogatives, which is overseeing potential abuses of big laws like FASA, which could compromise a person's civil liberties, to making sure that regulations, which are basically laws, aren't written by unelected bureaucrats, but are written by the people who are elected to write the laws. And so that is, I would say we've done a great deal to advance our Article I powers. Yeah, over here. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Kahan. I'm interning with Congressman Crowley's office this summer, and thank you for coming. So my question speaks to something you mentioned about accepting good ideas even if it doesn't come from your side. So this has to do with healthcare policy. The Affordable Care Act incorporates some elements of free market capitalism that Republicans had advocated for in the 80s, for example. And I'm wondering why...
Which one? I'm just curious, what piece do you mean?
Just generally, like during Reagan's administration, this was an idea that some Republicans had advocated for, generally free market integration in the healthcare sector. So I'm wondering why Republicans don't think it's a good idea anymore.
Yeah, so I wouldn't agree with the premise of the question. So first of all, take a look at the bill that we passed out of here as a response to it, as a replacement. I think you need to have more participants in the marketplace. Almost half the counties in America are down to one insurer left. That's not free market, that's basically a monopoly. So what we want to do is have a situation where we can have more insurers participate so we as patients can benefit from choice and competition, which does more to create innovation and lower costs. The Affordable Care Act didn't do that. It did the opposite. We believe risk pools are a smarter way to cover people with pre-existing condition, give them more choices, more affordable care, while freeing up the vast majority of people in the individual market so they can have more choices. The Affordable Care Act got rid of that. So we think the Affordable Care Act went the opposite direction. It also made it, I passed an amendment back in 2003 creating something called health savings accounts. Health savings accounts was a free market idea where you could use your own pre-tax dollars to buy under-deductible expenses, bring consumer pressure to the healthcare sector, and then have a catastrophic plan on top of it. The Affordable Care Act reversed that. So I really do take issue with the premise of the question, which is, I really believe that the Affordable Care Act consolidated. It didn't advance free market principles. It did not advance choice and competition. And as a result, that's why we're seeing double-digit premium increases and basically healthcare monopolies, which aren't serving people very well. So that is why our proposal, a replacement, did the things I just described. How about the dude over there?
Time
with
for
the
one
hand?
more question.
Oh, all right.
Hey, I'm Ben. I'm from Colorado. I go to Colorado State University, and I'm interning for
That's the
Senator
one in
Gardner.
Fort Collins, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, sure is.
Who you intern for?
Senator Gardner.
Okay.
I follow you on Twitter. You mentioned that, and you do take a lot of flack on Twitter. And the question that I just had for you is, really, how does that make you feel? And how no, really, like,
I don't even pay attention to it.
And how do you be strong? And
don't take the
and
bait
combat
and
that?
don't worry about it. You know, just honestly, you guys, I see this with, with your generation. Don't take it so personally, and don't be personal with other people. That's the whole point I'm trying to make is, none of us have it all figured out. Especially if you're, 18 to 22 years old. You don't have it all figured out. You can learn from other people. And oh, by the way, it may feel good for a moment to go after someone, to be snarky, to attack them. what is it? Just think about what you're doing to kind of poison the well of society. Think about what you're doing to try and just degrade the tone of our debate. So all you can control is your own actions. So just think about it that way. With respect to myself and Twitter, I don't pay attention to it. It's just that quite simple. And when I do see it, so what? I know who I am. I know what I believe. I know what I want to achieve. And I know I still have a lot to learn. I've been in Congress for 20 years. I still have a lot to learn. But I still believe that this great experiment, this American idea, this beautiful system we have, is the best system that we've ever had in the history of mankind. Democratic capitalism, individual, whatever you want to call it, our Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, it's a great system, it's a great idea, but it is being challenged these days with this tribalism, with this degradation. And so just think about your own response to it and don't worry about the rest. If you let it get under your skin, then you're probably going to attack in kind, and it doesn't work. So don't let it get under your skin in the first place. I guess they're telling me I got to go. Hey, it's great being with you guys. Look, probably some of you agree with me, some of you don't. That's great. I'm glad you're here. It's really important that you're here, that you're learning. And I got to tell you, I started off as an intern, then I came as staff, then I went home and ran for Congress. You can make, this is the last point I want to say, is you can make a huge difference in this country at a young age. So I hope you leave inspired. I hope you leave knowing that wherever you come from, whatever you believe, in this country with our system, you can have a huge impact and make a big difference. Take stock in that. I did, and I feel grateful for having done so. Thank you very much, and have a great internship. Take care of you.